In this video, we're going to be going over every Mandalorian Season 2 character I think LEGO needs to make. Hello everyone, it is Republic Studs, and welcome to the channel. Please remember to subscribe if you enjoy the content. We are gunning for 8,000 subs by the end of the year. It would be much appreciated. With that said, I am going to be going into the top 10 figures I think LEGO needs to make in order of importance to least important. Let's get on into it. As we saw in The Mandalorian, we have gotten loads of new characters, from Bo-Katan to Boba Fett. It is amazing to see this universe come together in such a way we've never seen the likes of in Star Wars. It really brings together this theory that a lot of fans have been putting together called the Dave Filoniverse, which is essentially his characters popping up in everything. Like now, Bo-Katan's even rumored to be featured in the new Bad Batch TV show. Taking that into consideration, you know, you're having his characters like Bo-Katan, Ahsoka, and all of those in here, which is awesome. I've been loving seeing all of those characters. First up, I think the most appropriate one that LEGO has to make, if they didn't make this, would be Boba Fett. Now, from the second we saw Boba Fett in episode 1, it drove customizers crazy. We saw everyone trying to make their best interpretation of Boba Fett. We didn't really see what his clothes looked like, and it was just like everyone was just in a mad rush to make a Boba Fett. I personally have made even videos on how to make and customize and get different Mandalorian characters. I'll show those in the cards at the end or up here. Now, I think that was the first interpretation of Boba Fett we could theoretically see. The one I would like to see would be Boba Fett in his fully printed, in his fully new, colorful, beautiful looking armor, because in the originals, I think the reason he was all dented up and bent up was because that was the thing that people loved about the originals, was they were all lived in galaxy, and it looked like, wow, he must be a good bounty hunter if he's got so much battle damage. Now that we see Mando with his shiny armor, I think seeing Boba Fett having his, newly spruced up armor is very cool as well. I think if it came with that nice dark tone of red in his helmet and the nice dark new green tone, that feels perfect. I don't know if it's going to get more damaged in the coming episode, which is the last one, but I think it would definitely be awesome to see that. As well as, it come with his jetpack, his new robes, because he's, now missing his bottom part, which is kind of funny. But I absolutely loved Boba Fett's inclusion. I think it's been great with the Slave One and all of those people. And I also think it could be possible if we just get him in his armor before he gets it painted on, without all of the other stuff, he just kind of puts it over the way Cobb Vanth wore it. That would be awesome too. I'd be very happy to see that. And I think a set that could appear in is, a new Slave One, which we might see next year, but even though we just got one, I honestly, I'm a big problem. I am a person with big problems on that sort of stuff. But when it comes to the Mandalorian, honestly, all bets are off. If the new X-Wings were Mandalorian themed, I'd be very happy with them, by the way. Next up, we have, obviously, Ahsoka Tano. We just got Ahsoka Tano in the AAT, and I will say that figure, while it's nice, it's not perfect. I think they could have done arm printing to make her look a little full, look a little plain. The hands were wrong color. The leg and torso printing were good, but the montrals were all messed up. I think this would be a good time for LEGO to do a new head mold, but that would be a very good time to do that. I think having a new mold that could also combine both the new smooth texture that isn't all pointy, as well as the headband, would be great. That could also be incorporated. I loved Ahsoka in the new season. It would come with white lightsabers, and it might even look like the one from Rebels. I mean, I don't know. Stay consistent with LEGO. They're probably going to keep them the way they are because they're lazy. That's just how LEGO is now. It'd be great to see Ahsoka. We'd obviously get new prints, new everything. I think a new lightsaber mold could work for Ahsoka because her lightsabers are so different in The Mandalorian. With that said, let's move into the next character. The next character is a character I am quite frankly disgusted that LEGO has not made yet. It is Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan has been around in Star Wars for a good chunk of time now. She's been in Rebels, the Clone Wars, and the Clone Wars season finale, and she was a main character in it, as well as now the Mandalorian to add to the list. Bo-Katan is an amazing character. I love Bo-Katan. Share similar hair apparently, which is awesome. And I think, it's about time we get her. I think she could appear, depending on what episode she appears in. They could do another Imperial Freighter set. That could come with her, Mando, maybe another Mandalorian, the officer. That could be sick. And I think that she would just look great in LEGO. Have her look sort of like Sabine, sort of like any Mandalorian. It really doesn't matter. She's an amazing character, and I want to see her in LEGO so badly. She needs to be made, even if it's not from Mando, if it's from Bad Batch, Clone Wars, anything. I don't even care. Just make Bo-Katan, please. Next up, we have Fennec Shand. Now, apparently Fennec Shand is also going to show up in the Bad Batch, which is pretty cool. But Fennec Shand was seen in Season 1, Episode 5, in the Tatooine arc. And she was saved by Boba Fett, and now she has like an iron stomach or something, which is pretty cool. But I think it would be cool to get Fennec Shand, mainly for her helmet. Maybe it's just me, but her helmet kind of reminds me of the shape of Kermit the Frog's head. That could just be me. I just wanted to put that out there. But I think she would be a really neat character to get, and I wouldn't be too shocked if LEGO actually did her, because they've been noticing they're trying to like diversify their character groupings. So I think it would be awesome if they did, a Fennec Shand. That would just be sick. It could appear in like, a set based off of the episode where Grogu is on the Seeing Stone, or something along those lines. It could even be from the final episode. She could come with Boba Fett, or in a Slave One, or anything. I just want to see Fennec Shand. That would be very cool. We have Cobb Vanth, which let me just say, with the new Encounter on Tatooine set, I think it is very disappointing that we didn't get him. That would have been the perfect set to get him in. Like, there could have not been a more perfect set. Like, that was sort of my reaction to, like, with the Republic fighter tank, when they put in like Ayla and this would have been the perfect set to have a Commander Bly for the first time. But they put in just some random pilot and some droids. Like that's what that selection feels like. It's like that would have been the perfect time to put in a character we have not gotten in LEGO in right now, and they didn't do it, which is supremely disappointing, and I'm very sad about it. Seeing that we're probably getting only one encounter on Tatooine set type thing, I don't see us getting Cobb Vanth as much, but I would love to see him come out, whether it be a CMF or something. Obviously, with the Boba armor, I don't want him with a sweatshirt. That would be boring. And I think it would be neat to see him in that. I just think that would be really cool. Let's move into the next character. Next up, we have Frog Lady, who I also like to call Barney. Now, Barney, her Frog Lady, is this little lady. She has like a little canister of eggs, and I think she would be a neat type of figure for LEGO to do. I don't think they do her as much because she's like, even though she was in 2 episodes, she's not as relevant to the overall plot, but she'd be a very fun character to get in LEGO, and that's why I think I want her, get that alien diversity up. I really like LEGO Star Wars aliens, and they've kind of been sorely lacking recently, aside from the Cantina, which was an awesome way to include them. Let's move into the next one. Next up, we obviously have the Moff Gideon himself. Moff Gideon was obviously in Season 1, the last 2 episodes of that, which were great, and he's actually taken a step back. I think that's the most disappointing part about this season, unless like the last episode's like an hour or 2, which would be awesome, but probably won't happen. But I think he's definitely like had less of a role, but he's still been very cool nonetheless, and every time you see him, he has a very menacing presence. He would obviously come with a darksaber. He could really come in anything. You could do a Mando versus Moff Gideon set. You could do a Moff Gideon TIE set. You could do his Arquintan's Light Cruiser set. Like, I wouldn't mind any of them. They're all very cool, and he'd come in all 3. I don't really care. I want to see Moff Gideon. He would be a great figure to get in LEGO. I think that would be an amazing addition to our villain collection. Obviously, villains are great to have to, counter your good guys. And we haven't gotten too many in that form for the Mandalorian yet. We haven't even gotten a single, like, individual villain character from the Mandalorian, aside from maybe those, like, grunts or raiders from the ATSC Raider. With that said, let's move into the next character I have listed. Next up, we have the Dark Troopers. The Dark Troopers were featured at least in episode 7, and I assume 8 of Season 2. They were super cool. We've seen them slightly in Clone Wars and not Clone Wars, but Rebels in different fashion, and I think that the Dark Troopers would be a sick type of character to have, showing up more in the LEGO Star Wars realm. I think it would be neat to see them execute that, since LEGO really is consistent with using the same type of droids. We've been using the same battle droid and a super battle droid mold since about 2001, which I think they're perfect, so I'm not complaining. But I think it would be nice to see that. Like, I think they missed opportunities for making other droids like L3. They did a good job with K2SO, but I think this is time where we do a droid like this. I would love that. Next up, we have Mayfeld. Mayfeld was a character we saw in episode 7 of Season 2 and episode, I believe, 6 of Season 1. Correct me if I'm wrong. But he was the, like, bald guy who had, like, the little gun over his strap. I think it would be much cooler to see him from Season 1 because of that. But I think it would be nice to see him, maybe in his disguise. They could have the little, new tank, Juggernaut type tank. That could be a set. Or you could have, like, just the Raiders. Or him even in the Imperial base. I think any of that would be really cool. And I think he would obviously come with, like, a cycler rifle or his just new armor appearance. Any of that would be very cool. I'd be very happy to see him That would be an awesome figure. Let's move into the next one. Next up is one I think would be a lot less likely to see unless we got a set based solely on the Ahsoka episodes, which I doubt. It would be the Magistrate. Now, the Magistrate would be in a set probably like an Ahsoka versus Magistrate duel type set, or it could be like some sort of that village set of that village where you could get maybe her guard that comes with it, the guard guy, and Ahsoka, and maybe even Mando, and the Magistrate, obviously. That would be a very cool set, and I think she would come with her Beskar spear, obviously. I think that would probably be a pre-existing mold we've gotten, but it might not be. Like, they could do their own custom molds. I really don't care. And she would just be a neat figure to have, I think, because, you know, we know she's connected to the Thrawn, so maybe we'll be seeing more of her in the future. Maybe not. I don't know. Let's move into the next one. Now we have the Mortar Trooper. The Mortar Trooper was seen in the episode 6 of The Mandalorian, and he obviously is the Yellow Mustard Trooper. I think people were making customs of that before. I remember seeing people making custom yellow, like, flame troopers, and I'm like, why? But apparently he exists, and he was in the Mandalorian Season 2 episode, and, you know, he was, like, bombing Fennec Shand. That was just a really neat dude. I'm like, whoa, a Mustard Trooper. So he is, like, the red version of a Flame Trooper. Obviously, I want to see a Flame Trooper first. But a Mustard Trooper would be very cool, too. Not complaining. I'd love to see that. Then I just have a few more picks, and I'll get right into that. Now, finally, I have some other figures that I think could happen. These are more figures I just want to see, but not in the, like, top 10 of them. But I'd like to see, you know, Peli from Tatooine, maybe with a pit droid. That would be cool. Grief Karga would be cool with his new, like, little sash and everything. I think a new Cara Dune would be appropriate because her armor did change up a little bit, and I think that would be very nice. And also, the Resistance pilots, Dave Filoni and the other guy, would be a very nice character to get. I think, you know, they were awesome. They've played a bigger role than I thought. They showed up in one episode, and I didn't think they'd do any more after that episode. Hey, we saw them again. That was pretty nice. I was very happy about that. And Dave Filoni's now been in 2 episodes of Star Wars, which is amazing. Those are my picks for every figure from The Mandalorian Season 2 LEGO should make. Please tell me your picks in the comments below. Please remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all the other things, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out, and stay awesome.